them. Casey Cares is the intersection of the profit and the nonprofit community, making Kansas City a better place to live, work, and play. This Casey Cares segment is brought to you by the Ewing Marion Kaufman Foundation, www.kaufman.org. I'm Ruth Baum-Bickus. Kansas City may be located right in the middle of the United States, the heart of America, but we do have an international flair. We're home to international companies as well as various organizations with a focus on cultures from other nations and sharing. Well, one organization is focused on connecting Kansas City with other communities around the globe for the purpose of promoting friendship, cultural exchanges, and peace. It's the Sister Cities Association of Kansas City. Joining us is Julia Gargallo. She is Vice President of Kansas City's Sister City Association, and I'm so delighted to welcome you to Casey Cares.
Thank you. And for the last month, I have been the president because the past president had to move to Germany. So I had to step in. So now I'm the president, and Lourdes Gomez is the vice president.
Well, Madam President, I thank you for correcting me. And just part of the challenges of working with the organization, we have a member that decides to either move back to their home country or somewhere else. Mm-hmm. For those folks who are not familiar with the association, can you give us a little background on how this all started? It was really quite a while ago.
Correct. You know, it was President Eisenhower who created the association, the International Sister Cities Association. And President Eisenhower thought that if we establish partnerships, relationship between cities in different parts of the world, we could avoid conflict. So that's how everything started. And the first sister city that Kansas City had was Seville. It was in 68. It makes a lot of sense because Kansas City is so connected to Spain with the plaza. So Seville was the first sister city. The second was Kurashiki in Japan. And the third was Morelia in Mexico, and now we have 12 sister cities around the world.
And I think you have one pending, do you not?
Correct, Metz. And one thing that is important is to see that the relationship needs to be between the two cities. So individuals cannot just say, okay, we're going to be friends with Paris. Or no, it has to be the mayors of the city getting to the agreement. So it's a long and difficult process sometimes because one city may be more willing to do it than other cities. So we have a group of people with the city of Metz and Kansas City, and they are working really, really hard. So soon we'll have Metz also as a sister city.
How does this all work? You say it can't just be, 3 or 4 people saying, gee, I want to be a sister city of, let's say, London.
Yeah,
Talk about how that process works.
As individual, I can go to the city hall and say, I think that Kansas City and Paris will be great sister cities. But then it's not up to me, it's up to the city hall in Kansas City and the city hall in Paris to get to the agreement. The individuals can do, a lot of working, networking, finding the right people to talk in the different city halls, but it's not something that we can do. It's the cities that have to establish the friendship or the sisterhood.
So you're working with the governments, municipalities, et cetera. So how here in Kansas, how does it work on our side of the ocean, I guess?
Okay, so the Kansas City Sister City Association is part of the Parks and Recreation. We are volunteers, but we need to respond to Parks and Recreations, and Parks and Recreations are part of the city. So, for example, our billing address is in Parks and Recreations. The phone number that you will see in the website is in Parks and Recreations.
So how does it work to begin the process of having a sister city? What all is involved? It sounds like there is quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. And the first thing that we need is to have some interest in with individuals, and these people need to go to the city hall and start talking and make contacts in the other city and start the conversation. But this is not always easy because the mayors are very busy, and maybe their last concern is to talk to the mayor in another city across the world. So it can take years because METS has been working. The people in the METS groups have been working really hard for several years. But I think that now we are getting closer.
What are the requirements of a sister city, sister community? Are there certain things they have to meet, things they have to report on?
But if you go to the International Sister City Association, you'll see that like medium-sized cities like Kansas City will be friends with medium-sized cities in other countries. Chicago will be maybe, I don't know what are the sister cities of Chicago, but maybe it will be Rome or I don't know, Manchester. So, and even Mission Hills has sister cities, so it will be little towns. I think that, I'm not sure if it's sister city, Mission Hills or Prairie Village that has a town in Spain that is the sister city, but very small towns. So it's almost by size, I would say.
And is an application filed with anyone? And then where does it go?
I don't know about that because I have never been part of the process.
Well, we'll send people to the Parks and Recreation Department. If you know a city and you want to know all the rules on that.
Yeah.
Is Kansas City Sister City Association part of this international group?
Yes, we are.
And what benefits do you derive by being associated? How do you work together?
Okay, we need to be part of this group. We cannot just be by ourselves. Okay, so for example, one very important thing that we do every year is that the students from middle school and high school in Kansas City, in the metropolitan area, are part of this big contest that the International Sister Cities organizes for the arts. So they have a topic every year, and the students in the different sister cities, they can submit their art projects and they get an award. So what we do is first we have the contest in Kansas City, and the three winners, we send the three winners to the International Association. For example, now the International Association is doing a lot of things with youth groups. I think is the aging of the members of the association, International Association, is people are aging, so we are trying to get younger people. So that's why the International is like doing all these programs focusing in the younger people.
Well, how long have you been involved, and what got you involved?
Okay, so I'm from Barcelona. I'm not from Seville. And I moved to Kansas City 26 years ago, and I met Maria Jose Santos, who was the chair of the Seville Sister City. And she said, okay, you need to come and join us because we get together, the Spanish people in Kansas City, and we create programs like wine tastings to promote the Spanish wine. And we have people going to Seville, people from Seville coming here. So I thought it was a great opportunity. I was a teacher, but, I always been interested in the culture and it keeping all my roots with Spain. So that seemed to me that was a great opportunity. So I have been involved with Seville for 25 years. And just last month or 2 months ago, I became the vice president. And last month, the president. So I know more about the Seville sister city and everything that we do there than my current position, because I'm totally new at this.
That's absolutely fine. You got to have new blood and leadership. So let's talk about Seville. And here you are from Barcelona, and now you're repping Seville. Is that hard for you as a Barcelonian? That's not
I
even
love
probably
Kansas City. I love Kansas City.
I just meant the Barcelona Seville maybe was a little bit of a.
They are very different, but they also have a lot of things in common, like the history, the architecture.
Right, right. So Seville is our oldest city. So what are the kinds of things specifically have you been engaged with, all this time, in promoting and furthering?
Yes. Okay. So I can start with the latest thing is that we work very close with the World Language Department at UNKC. And last summer, one of the professors, Dr. Villamando, took up a group of students to Seville. And we gave a mini grant for the students that couldn't afford the trip. So it was a little help for the students. So they go, we help them a little bit economically, and they go to the city hall, and they have a tour of the city hall. Unfortunately, this year we had elections, and when they went, they were in the middle of the election, so the mayor couldn't receive them. But usually the city hall in Seville makes a big thing when the students go from Kansas City, and they get pictures with the mayor and they exchange presents. So it's really nice. So that is the last thing that we did this summer. In the spring, we had the visit of the Consul of Spain in Chicago, and we organized at the Toy Museum a meeting for all the Spaniards. And we also organized for the consul to see the murals that we have, but an important artist, Luis Quintanilla at UNKC. So we gave the Seville Sister Cities organize everything, organize the visit with the consul, organize the meeting between the consul and UNKC chancellor. They also met, they talk a little bit, they exchange presents. So this is one thing that we need to do as sister cities. We need we bring the consul, but also we need to bring somebody from Kansas City. So in this case was the chancellor of UNKC. So this is a way for Spaniards to know more about UNKC and maybe send more students.
Now, how does that ripple out into the other 11 cities until we get this new city? What are the other kinds of activities that happen under your umbrella?
Yes. So, for example, right now there are two projects going on. The first one is Morelia. Morelia is celebrating this year the 50th anniversary. So they are organizing a big gala. And they are bringing a group of singers from Morelia to perform at the gala. And also, there is a company that now I don't remember the name of the company, but there is a company in Kansas City that takes care of all the trains going from Canada to Mexico. And I'm so sorry because I don't remember the company, but they are also working with this company. So because it's in Kansas City, the company, and they work in Mexico. So that's the connection there. So that's one of the projects going on. Another is METS, that is not officially a sister city. They are bringing 3 students from METS, and these 3 students, they play. They are musicians, and they are gonna be part of the Charlie Parker workshop that is going on next week. So we are very excited about these 2 projects. Arusha in Africa last month worked in partnership with the public library, and they show a movie, a Black Panther, I think was the name of the movie. So these are the things that come to my mind that are recently or in the near future.
We're talking
and the
with.
thing for us is this weekend, the ethnic festival. We were very close also with the enrichment commission in Kansas City. So we're going to have a booth at the ethnic festival this weekend, and we are going to be there for 3 days.
We're talking with Julia Gargayo. She is the president of the Sister Cities Association here in Kansas City. We're learning more about what the organization is and does. Now, you're all volunteer, is that right?
Correct.
All
We
right.
are all volunteers, and we don't get any money from anybody. So we need to have our own money. What we do is that members pay $30, and 2/3 of the $30 go to the city, and 1/3 goes to the general association. For example, if you join the city of Port Harcourt, you pay $30. $20 will go to Port Harcourt to the committee, and $10 will go to the Kansas City Sister Association. So that's a way for the city committees to have money and create projects and do services.
And so that those funds are used then to do these kinds of programs.
Correct. Yeah. So that's how we can give a mini grant. Seville can give a mini grant for students of UNKC to go to Seville and things like that.
And how does one join? Where do we find out all this information? And
you just need to go to the website and join there.
And that's Sister Cities.
Kansas City Sister City Association.
And the website, so everybody has it and they can check it out, is kcsistercities.org. So check out their activities and everything, but you can join. So who are the people that who join and become part of Sister Cities? Can you give us any kind of a snapshot of who your members are?
Yeah, usually in the committees, we have people from the countries where those cities are, but not always. For example, Seville. Okay, so let me go back to the cities. Each sister city has a committee. Each committee at least has to have 7 people, and each committee has a chair and a co-chair. So, for example, the co-chair and the chair of Seville, they are from Spain. But if we get another country like Guadalajara in Mexico, they are Americans. So we have a mix of international people and Americans. So it's a very diverse group because we have 2 cities in Africa, 1 in Japan, 3 in China, 3 in Europe, 2 in Mexico. So this, if you go to one of the meetings, you see a lot of diversity there.
And how often do the committees meet?
Okay, so it's up to the chair when and how they will meet, but the chairs of each chair needs to meet with the president and the vice president, the treasurer, and the secretary once a month. And we meet the first Monday of each month at the Kaufman Foundation. So that's where we meet, and we have an agenda, and we go over all the projects that we are working, the concerns. We have, besides the city committees, we have other committees. For example, we have what we call the youth committee. That is the committee that organizes the art contest with the international sister cities. We also have created one committee because every year we have to have like a social for all the members. So we have another committee organizing this. So all these people will go to the once a month meeting.
So you're really hands-on, and the work is at the power of your volunteers and engagement. Mm-hmm. Can somebody just raise their hand and say, I want to be on this committee? Is there a process to join?
No, if you are a member of, you just need to be a member. And when you go to the website, you will see all the sister cities, and you click in the sister city that you want to join. So you will click in Morelia or Cheyenne or Tainan. You click there and you become a member. The chair will contact you and they will welcome you to help in the way that you can help. Everybody can help in different ways. I'm not very good with technology, so there are people like the chair of Seville that is really good with technology, so she's helping the entire organization with the website.
I have to ask, because during COVID, we were all so locked down, and here you're an organization that's, reaching out all over the world. What happened during that time?
Zoom meetings.
Of course.
But as soon as we could meet in person, we went back to person because it was not the same thing.
Did you ever have any conversations during that time with your compatriots in other cities about, well, how are you doing? Anything you can share with us that we could maybe put in place?
We did the minimum during those years. We did the minimum because it was a very difficult time. Yeah.
Of course. What are the priorities right now for sister cities?
The most important, the website. We need to improve the website. We have big problems with the website. So like this morning, I've been talking to like 5 different people in the Kansas City Association, and everybody's doing what they can, but we really need to improve. We know that we are in the 21st century and that we need to improve that. And so that's the most important priority. The second one is to attract younger people and also to get more members for the association.
So what are you doing to address those?
For example, the new chair that of Guadalajara is a young person. And he's from UNKC, so I'm sure that he can attract people from UNKC, students, faculty, staff that are younger. So we are gonna do a lot of promotion during the ethnic festival and see if we can get more members.
Everybody's always looking for the young people. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
What is it with that?
They're so easy, with little kids and careers.
Right. Since you've been with the organization for some time, how have you seen it changed over that period?
Mm-hmm. Well, even that we have a website now with big problems, we have a website, okay? When I first joined the organization, it was very basic. We didn't even use email. So the technology has been a big part. And also what I see is that before each city was doing their own thing. And now we are trying to get all the cities also work together. There is an event that for these 3 students that are coming next week from Metz, and people that are not part of the committee of France is going to the reception or to the gala, the Morelia Gala. A lot of people from the organization is going, even that they are not part of the Morelia sister city. So, and I really think as a president that each city needs to have their own events and projects, but also we need to work together, because there are cities that are they have easier or more things going on, or they have more contacts, and there are cities that have a more difficult time. So I think that we need to help the cities with a more difficult time.
There's power in numbers coming together, right? And again, I go back to, you've been involved for a number of years. What's been one of your favorite experiences being involved with the Sister Cities Association?
So because my background is in art history, I love to give tours in the Nelson Atkins of the Spanish masterpieces. So about once a year, we give tours in Spanish and in English, and we only focus in the Spanish masterpieces. So that's something that I really like it. And the project with the murals at UNKC, that has been the Seville's baby for maybe 6 or 7 years now. And we are so proud that now the university is valuing what they have there, because those murals had been since 1941 there, and nobody knew were there, nobody appreciated them, and now they are doing a lot for those murals. And it was Seville who got a mini grant from the city hall, and we were able to bring an art historian and a restorer from Spain, and they were in Kansas City for 3 days just before the pandemic, and they gave a lecture at UNKC, and it was a way to connect Spain with Kansas City, and that everybody knows that Spain has had a presence here for a long time, not only in the plaza, but, for example, with those murals in UNKC.
What would you say is the overall, maybe one or two things that are most important about having a Sister Cities Association presence in Kansas City? What does it help us do or move the needle forward?
I think that when you are part of an association like Kansas City, Sister Cities, opens your mind, because you go to the events and you see that not everybody thinks like you, acts like you. So open your horizons. And now I just forgot about the project that Kurashiki has every year. Kurashiki in Japan, every year they have an exchange of students between Kurashiki and Kansas City. Kansas City sends, I think it's 4 students, high school students, every summer to Kurashiki, and Kurashiki sends 4 to Kansas City. And my son he's now 30, but when he was a sophomore in high school, he was one of, they call it, ambassadors from Kansas City to Kurashiki. He stayed for 2 weeks with a family in Kurashiki. He had the best time ever, and he went to college and he studied Japanese. So I think that if it was not for the Kurashiki Sister City organizing these kind of exchanges, he would have never gone to Japan.
I think that's a wonderful example of opening eyes and connecting internationally. And you don't even necessarily have to leave Kansas City, because we've got at least 12 other cities around the world that you can learn from, just what's here, and real people, and not, just a brochure.
The student exchanges that we do,
Well, it's wonderful. Julia, thank you so much for spending time with us and sharing all the work you do. I want to encourage our viewer listeners to check out Kansas City kcsistercities.org. They need volunteers. They want young, old, anybody, but especially looking for you youngsters. So jump in. Give a shout. It's great to get connected with people from all over the world. And we wish you the very best of luck. And next time, hopefully, we've got 13 official cities.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for KC Cares, Kansas City's nonprofit voice. We're produced by Charitable Communications, also a nonprofit. This KC Cares segment was brought to you by the Ewing Marion Kaufman Foundation, www.kaufman.org. To be a guest on KC Cares, you can visit our website, kccaresonline.org, and spread the love. You find us on Facebook and Twitter at KC Cares Radio, and Instagram at KC Cares Online. Don't forget, you can catch us on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. on ESPN 1510 and 94.5 FM. Thank you for joining us on KC Cares.